It looks like there's a little kid in snow gear, like a really big poofy winter jacket with a hat on, and like something's being tied or tightened, and they're getting all bundled up. It's like this, cute little kid, and they're so poofy. That's the visual I'm getting right away. I'll look into this more, but one, let me know if that immediately relates. I don't know where you are, if it happens to be um, winter based on hemisphere, or if this relates to a memory of when you were a kid, or if you happen to have a kid. I will look further, but that's what's coming in right away. It was the emphasis of something being tightened, and then obviously they were really they're really packed in. Less so in the sense of it being protection, but they're bundled up, so they're being protected from the cold, but it's not about being guarded or in defense of or deflecting something coming at them. It doesn't feel that activated and defensive in that way because it's like cute and sweet and wholesome. I think something about blocks. I'm happy and also sad. Understandable, very understandable. So the thing that's coming through to me is about some sort of a block in place here. It's like the first card. How can we move energy? How can we stay open and vulnerable to feel all the things, to feel happy, to feel proud, to feel sad, to feel scared, anxious for that? It's like you're wanting to protect that little kid who is leaving the nest, who's going out into the cold wilderness in that big winter coat. Just keep getting something about what's the block? What is the block here that we're supposed to be attending to? Trust and control. Have you found that not necessarily that it's perfectionism, could be. I guess let me know what stands out for you when I say those words. Do um, Specifically, does control like trigger anything within you? Does it activate you in any way when I say that? Because it feels like part of the block, like we can know when we have a block if it kind of does something. It's like when you strike a nerve, and that's how you can know, oh, there's something there. There's something there for me to look at, for me to tend to nurture, to water that plant, etc. Trust that all is well and letting go of control of my daughter's life. Exactly. Yeah. Because she's getting like she's a free bird and she has to fly on her own. And of course, there is fear around that. And it's that protection. I think that's why I just was getting the bundled up. It's wanting to protect as a precaution for care out of love, which is wonderful. But I just keep seeing her as a bird. I keep seeing her flying and transforming, and she's becoming different kinds of birds. She's looking like a stork and a pelican and like all of these kind of big like big regional highly unusual birds, and she keeps shape shifting and doing something different because that's what she's looking for. She's looking for the adventure, that new versions and new iterations of herself. It's, 2.0, 3.0. She wants to have the system upgrades. That's how her energy feels. And the encouragement that I'm getting is just getting the briefs. It's coming in through like this. It's like when Apple does those big conventions and they talk about like, oh, here are all the updates with like the next version of all of our products. The encouragement I'm getting is for you to attend those for the equivalent for your daughter, because she's going to keep getting these upgrades and updates. And all of a sudden, if she comes home and she's 4.0 and you're like, whoa, like this feels like a totally different person. At least if you are specifically inquiring about how she's evolving and how she's changing and being aware that there's going to be upgrades, there's going to be big changes and catalysts. And if there's bugs in the system, then she can go back. This is such a funny metaphor. Then she can go back to the programmer, aka you, for adjustments as needed. It's like when technology isn't working and we submit a ticket, we're like, oh, I can't figure this thing out. The trust is that she'll come back to you, the programmer, if the help is needed in fixing the bugs. But otherwise, all you have to do is stay connected, being aware of the upgrades, the updates, making sure you kind of know what's coming, keeping up with the latest technology, aka the iterations of her. I felt that in my back. Ooh. It's like that's coming through to me as like a cording thing. If you're familiar at all with energy cords, if you have cords in the front, it's a choice. So it's like you are choosing it, and it's kind of going both ways. If it's something that's in the back, it's like it's almost like subconscious or somebody like cording into you, and it's a connection that you're not necessarily like agreeing to. So it feels like there's some sort of subconscious connection, which is kind of what we're getting at with these blocks. That we only know when we have hit the block, if it kind of goes, oh, what was that? That's the sensation that we're looking for to know that we are in the ballpark. I agree, Fly. I want to protect her. She's so ready. So am I. Good. All right, I'm getting I can flip the card over. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. This is the cutest. I can't. This is the sisterhood card. We are all sisters and reflect the divine in one another. I get this card quite often when I end up spending the day with my mom and my sister, or like other women in my family, or I'm getting together with female friends. So I love that we're getting this, talking about the relationship with your daughter. I think this is so cute. We are all sisters and reflect the divine in one another. The premise here, and totally relates to what we've been talking about. You are honoring her growth, her wisdom. Yes, she's younger than you. Yes, she is of you, but she has wisdom, and she's going to go out there as all of these birds, and she's going to learn new things that she can bring back to the nest that are going to blow your mind too. Just as you are learning the things that you are learning, she's going to learn things as well. And you can eventually, it's like that kind of happened in a lot of relationships, even with the parent-child, is at a certain point, things start to equalize a little bit because you can both teach each other. And it's not just, well, I'm the parent and I've lived long. Well, she's going to live so many other experiences and be able to teach you some things. And it kind of acts as this equalizer where you can be as if you are sisters, despite being a parent-child. And the divine is that wisdom. When we talk about this card also, when I get this, sometimes it's a call to connect to the divine feminine energy, which is about receiving. That's card number 1. We're receiving love, support, vulnerability flowing in. That's picking up on this as well. So we definitely have card number 1 stuff going on with you. And I guess for card number 2, the soul work, the thing that you're understanding, your intention, your why, that, again, you can do both of those this week, but that seems to be picking up on control. You know, if control is understanding the why behind control and your choices. So I see you have the option that you can explore both the first reading and the second reading based on what we've talked about today. But for the divine feminine, it's about creation. It's the birthing, the birthing of life. It's about creativity. It's about receiving rather than acting and doing things all the time, which again, we had slightly in contrast. The first reading was about action, but was also about receiving. So it's how do we balance between wanting to act versus allowing the love to come back to us when we give the love. You're giving the love to your daughter wherever she is at any given moment. And being open, keeping the channel open, trusting to receive that back. This is beautiful. I love this. Makes sense. I can choose to cut cords. I've been doing for her and not for myself. Learn to put me first. Yes. Also, great example. When we're connecting to the divine feminine, this is something that I have been trying to work on because I'm so in the masculine space of I'm doing, accomplishing things. I have to check stuff off the list. I have to do this. I have to do that. That's the control piece that we're talking about. When we're in the divine feminine, we're allowing ourselves to sit back and receive. We know we've put in the work. We trust it will come. It doesn't mean, oh, we're just doing nothing and like we're lazy. It's not that. It's that we don't have to overextend. We can check ourselves and say, you know what? I've said my piece. I've done enough. This will come back to me. I'm going to go back to filling my own cup, connecting to myself, connecting to my sense of inner peace, my intuition, my knowing. I'm going to go inward. I'm going to create. Those are all of the energies of that divine feminine. I am open to receiving. I've given so much for so long. Exactly. This I think is kind of capturing a bit of all of the above. It's the remembering the divine feminine within you, leaning into that, as well as folding in the relationship with your daughter, allowing that shift, allowing you and her to become sisters in a way, to be able to learn from each other. What wisdom does she have on how you're doing so much and how you could receive more? Maybe she'll come back to the nest and she'll be able to teach you something that will help you on that individual journey. You don't know. The word that's coming in is pruning, but what I'm seeing is it's like you're in a kitchen and you have a bunch of green beans and you're trimming. I don't know if you've ever done this before. I think of my grandmother. We used to do this, we'd be doing a cookout or something, and you'd sit there and you're taking the ends off the beans, or you're trimming them with scissors, or yeah, by your hands. I broke beans before. Yeah, it's I'm just seeing that as an action. I'm curious if this is unlocking any memories and why that is a really, really specific thing is coming through. For me, it makes me think of time with family, specifically like in the kitchen, grandparents. So I don't know if you have any specific emotions or anything tied to that as well. My mom used to, quote, punish me by making me break beans in the kitchen. Oh gosh. Okay. So we are picking up on something with family. All right. So let's see. What does Nichole, you know what this feels like to me? This feels like we are going into reading number 2, which is understanding some of that deeper soul work and intention. Because we're going right for the jugular of childhood, maybe trauma, but experience and wounds, healing the inner child. I mean, we had a little bit of that with Cecilia as well, but we're jumping right there for you, Nichole. Okay, this feels like that was just like to establish the connection and the subject matter of what we're meant to be talking about today. So we can look more into it feels like the healing of this relationship. I debated asking if that relationship will mend. Okay, perfect. All right, so the hand was forced. You thought about it and it came through because your guides agree that there's a reason that you're thinking about this as a question, that you're wondering what to do in this space. And also, I'm just going to say this as an aside, what a fascinating parallel that we are in Cecilia's reading. We're talking about the mother with the relationship with the daughter, and now we have the daughter with the relationship with the mom. How fascinating. Okay, so let's see what we can get for the healing here. Some options. It feels like there's I'm getting the roots of a tree. There's so many different roots. Some of them are rotten. Some of them could just be cut out and then it could grow back, or it's just going to be gone. There's a lot of nuances here. It's like decades worth, if you will, of things to undo, to forgive, to release, and then branching out. I'm getting a lot of tree metaphor here, just the different things happening to this very big tree. So new branches being grown from it, a small sapling next to it. It's almost creating something that's different. If what was happening before, if what you're experiencing before wasn't serving you, then not being afraid to plant a new seed next to that tree. If that tree is rotted, if it's old, it's not that we're just forgetting and we're wiping away everything that's happened, because that tree is still there. That tree isn't gone. It's like you can forgive, but you can't forget. It's that type of energy. We just have the seedling that is going next to it and choosing to water that. It requires less watering. It requires less input than said large tree. And it's about where we are, how much are we choosing and willing to give? Because if we keep giving to that big tree, it's old, it's been there for a long time. It requires more resources to stay afloat versus the smaller, tiny little growing sprout of a tree. You know, it needs attention, it needs the sunlight, it needs the water, but it doesn't even take up as much space. It takes up less brain power. It takes up less emotional weight and burden. You almost don't even see it. It's kind of there. You go, oh, that's right. There's that little tree there. That's more of what we're pivoting to. How can we transition from viewing and experiencing this relationship as a gigantic tree into a small, new, budding sapling? Am I the tree? No. The tree is representing the relationship with your mom. Am I not supposed to hold strong? No, that's very important. The boundaries are very, very, very important. I'm getting that like underlined 1,000 times. The boundaries are important. We're not talking about if as an example, I don't know your dynamic, but if you have chosen to not communicate with her, I am not saying, oh, just start talking to your mom, call her up every Saturday. No. If you've set a boundary, you can hold that boundary. What we want to do with this soul work and what we're thinking about ourselves, we don't have to act on it. Again, this is reading number 2. We don't have to act on it. We're just thinking about it. We're doing deep dive exploration of what is triggering us, what the wound is, what needs tending to. We're looking at the roots. We're assessing the tree. We're evaluating the tree. Where did things go wrong? What soiled it for you? What started the atrophy process? These all just feel like I'm just kind of lifting off a bunch of different journal prompts, like it's kind of shadow work, or if you have a therapist, however, or just talking with friends, exploration into some of these ideas, but it feels like it's many, many questions that you can be asking yourself, thinking about. You don't have to do anything about it now. The idea is we want to sit in that space. We want to get comfortable with feeling a little bit uncomfortable with the vulnerability of this, with the memories that are charged that may crop up. It's being able to hold those, acknowledge them. It's like when you do a meditation practice, you can have a thought come in, and then one suggestion is you picture it in a bubble, and then you picture it popping, or you picture it floating away. We're trying to do that. Allow things to come up, sit with them, look at it, observe it. No, I am not that thought. I am not that memory. I shape who I am right now. I can choose to release it. I can choose to not let it, put a damper on the rest of my day. So I'm just getting pushed back to the healing piece. So it's an exploration into how did the roots go bad? What were the pivot points? What were the forks in the road? What were the turning points? Listing all of them out feels like there's many. Feels like there's at least 5. There's many different points where it felt like things were splintering. And there's the opportunity there to decide, okay, well, this choice, this action, this thing that was said, this behavior, this pattern, it sent us down this road. And being able to decide to cut some of those roots loose, to decide that you're no longer going to carry those with you anymore. You're not forgetting about them, but you're doing the work to release them. That way you can just have like a few of the roots that are left that you could actually focus on and maybe attending to, or maybe if you want to have conversations with her or not. But that there's some of these paths and routes that we can decide to acknowledge them, to do the work in ourselves and release those and let those go. That's why I'm saying this is a process. This is not just in the week ahead, yay, let's heal everything about my relationship with my mom. No. But this is a really great opportunity as a catalyst to really start getting in there. And if you keep pushing it off because you have your other to-dos, we have a container here that's encouraging you to hold the space, that you can hold the space this week to look at some of those roots. And at the minimum, you're figuring out which ones could I let go? Which ones could I release? Because it's like you are tangled within the roots and they're binding you and they're wrapping you up. And if we can just get rid of a few of them, you can move a little bit more. You can relax a little bit more. You can figure out later what you want to do with the ones that are remaining, that are really the most sore spots that require tending to, that could recover. Yes, my communication is limited. I've tried to fix it, but I'm still being made out as the bad child. The work right now that I'm describing it doesn't even require you to talk to her. It's just your inventory, your assessment. You are the forensic analyst. You are looking at the autopsy of this tree. You're deciding what you can release. I can flip over the card now. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Nichole, guess what? Healthy boundaries help me or keep me centered and balanced. This is the boundaries card. The fact that you brought up your boundaries. This is what I mean. When I intuitively pick the people for the cards, this was meant for you, because this is exactly what we are talking about. And what I was just describing, oh my gosh, I was just describing, see how like her arms are kind of like wrapped and going in different directions? That's what I was just describing with the branches. So it's like some of the branches are going around you, and how can you release some of them so that you're not tangled? Now here, the reason that they're wrapped is because she's doing a bunch of different mudras. So she's connecting to herself. She's grounding. She sets the boundaries. Boundaries aren't just to keep people out, they're to keep our power in. Getting the paraphrased quote here, Rumi, which is, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It's that type of idea. If we keep reliving some of these roots that we don't need to hold on to anymore, it's like we're just poisoning ourselves. We're continuing to carry this burden, this weight. It's just not serving us. She's not walking around thinking about it. And we are burdening ourselves by carrying some of that. So what can we get rid of? That will make the boundaries that we are maintaining healthier, because they'll be coming from the more enlightened place of the real reason, my intention, what's your why, reading number 2. The real reason why I'm setting these boundaries is, and we'll know this because we'll have released and gotten rid of some of the extra things And the reasons that we're setting the boundary will be those few that remain. These are the main principles that I have. And every time that she continues to defy them, I continue to set my boundary in response. That is healthy for me. It's protecting my peace, my family. How's everybody feeling in the chat after that reading? Nichole, I need you. You're very welcome. I'm glad that you joined. And I'm very glad that we had this reading because I think and hope and expect it will resonate with a lot of people. I know I can relate to some of this as well for me, not for my mom, but but I can relate to this. I have to do versions of this for myself as well. I look at my relationship with my dad. Say, okay, well, I do the same thing. I don't talk to him. I have very specific reasons for that. And every once in a while, I kind of have to take inventory to be like, do I care about that anymore? Or like, where exactly do I stand? We're doing a version of that this week. So I can relate to that too. And again, I'm sure other people can as well. And the emphasis I keep getting is it's about healthy boundaries, not boundaries just for boundaries' sake. We want to make sure that the boundaries that we have are intact, that they are representing our most basic, fundamental principles and values, that they're coming from a place of good intention. What's our intention? What's our why? And that they are helping to fuel us, to nurture us. They have to be nurturing. They can't just be walls.